I'm back. It's Board Bob again. So, last time we did this, we got our red science going finally, and we started working on our green science parts. But we ran into an issue of how were we going to lay this out here because it requires 3 inputs as opposed to 2, and these are kind of set up for 2. So I did some head scratching and I came up with an idea on how to do it. But before we get to that, we got a couple of things we got to take care of. Um, we are getting real close on power, so we need to pump our power production up. So I went ahead and I made myself some engines and some heat exchangers and a pump, and we're going to go over here and we're going to plop that down and get ourselves started on some more power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this line here and move it over so that I can put a second set of boilers in down here. And no, that's not going to let me do it there. Alright, so we're going to have to do it over here, and we're going to have to feed that in. Because what I want to do is I want to pick off the other side of this in order to take advantage of the fact that we've already got this line run here. So I'm throw this pipe in here, and since we don't want to have to be fighting with trying to get across, so I picked it up. There we go. We don't want to have to be fighting with trying to get around pipes. We'll go underground, and there we go. So now we got that. We need to get to this real quick and get it done because we're running out of coal. So let's get our line run back up here. All right, there, and we'll go underground to get around. Oops, underground to get around that, and then we will zig this over just to get it away from our plant so that we have enough room to put our engines down. There we go. Because we just ran out of power on everything, so now that should get us back to going. All right. So, oh, yep, we gotta, all right, because we're not using burner inserters for this, we need to give ourselves a little bit of coal to start us off and get our power running. If I put burner inserters here, they would feed themselves, but on the flip side, we would end up with the issue of more pollution. I'd rather have to just manually put in a little bit. Alright, so that's not going to fit there. We're going to have the same issue we had before. We're going to have to bump one out. Not a problem. We already did it once, so what's it matter to do it a second time, right? Alright, so there's that. And now we'll hook in our power. Come around the other side here. There, that there, that there, that there, and we need a pipe. Do we have any pipe? Yeah, we have pipe. There it is. We need to cut the pipe to 2 pieces to put in right there. All right, so now how are we looking on power? Well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and drop down all 4 of these steam engines, because it is, well, not 4. Did I just do 6? I guess I just did 6. Alright, well, you know what? Let's make 2 more, and just go ahead and get them laid in. Trying to remember where I left my my assembler. I really need to stop doing this and put it in place and leave it. Alright, so here we go. We need pipes. We're going to need 10 pipes, 16 gears, 10 plates. Well, we got the gears, we got the plate, we don't have plates. Let me just grab some plates real quick. But we don't have the pipe, so we're going to have to make some pipe real quick. So let's throw some in here and make some pipe. There we go. Alright, now let's make these 2 engines. Where'd our pipe go? There's our pipe. Pipe, gears. 1, 2. Alright. Now we have our other 2 engines. Of course, we've got a power pole on the way here, power pole on the way here, but we can take care of that quick enough. There we go. Alright, take that off our bar down here. We don't want it on here. We don't want that on here anymore either. Stump off these 2 pieces of coal and dump off these 2 pieces of iron ore. Alright, so that cleans us up pretty good. Now, like I said, I did some thinking on this science situation down here, and I think I have come up with a solution. And it's basically the same kind of layout we had here, only I've moved the factories, or the assemblers over a little bit in order to allow room for a second set of belts. And if you can see, I now have a second set of belts in here, and this will feed up to 4 individual components at any one time to do what we need to do. So let's go ahead and throw this down and get it built, and we can finally get our green science going. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw down our assemblers. This time it's assembler 2s, because we have more than 2 components going in. Assembler 1s will only take up to 2 components. So we need to have the assembler 2s. One other thing while I'm throwing these down, somewhere along the way I kind of screwed up a little bit. Apparently I pushed that button. Like I said, I have a habit. So now we're up to 109. I think we're still okay though, because I think the only other thing that we are going to need to craft at this point in hand is going to be the refinery. So if we can avoid making that same stupid mistake that we did, we theoretically should still be able to make the Lazy Bastard Award. So we'll see. Oops. Alright. So I had to get a little creative to get this to fit in down here. and to get it to split off into the 4 lines. But I think this is going to work pretty good. So we're going to put a splitter here, and we're going to put a splitter here. And then we're going to put an underground belt here. And what that should do for us is split this line up to go here to this one, take it underground, and then put it over to this one, right? Meanwhile, this one's going to come up and just feed there. And it's going to split here, and we'll run it right over top of that underground belt, and they should both go right on in up there. And the only thing we got to worry about is making sure that we get 2 items on one and 1 item on the other, and we're good to go. The only other change we're making to this essentially is we're adding a long arm inserter on each of these to take advantage of that second belt. And like I say, by doing this, we've kind of set ourselves up to where we have a modular factory for anything up to 4 components. And there we go. So now we will be good to go on our green science, and we will be able to start researching in earnest once again, which is a good thing, because in looking at our ore patches, we are beginning to run low on our ore patches, which means we need to start finding new green pastures. To once again meet our material needs. I'm a material girl, I guess, living in a material world. Yeah, I know, really bad puns. Alright, splitter. And then all we should need is more power. And lights. Always lights. There we go, and we have one odd man out here that we kind of got to put an oddball pole in right there for now to fill that space. Alright, so that gives us our inputs and our outputs, and now we just need to tell it what to make, and what we're going to make is we're going to make inserters. So then we just tell them all to make them. And this should give us everything we need for green science, and we will be sciencing the shit out of things for quite some time with just that. So now we need plates, gears, green circuits. Well, green circuits are easy, right? Because they are right here. So we will come over with this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to force it to stay on one side of the belt, because I want to keep consistent with that as far as what we're going to do for our other stuff. And we're going to want an underground. Do we have any? No, of course we don't, because we want to bypass this. So let's go up here, grab and pop out a single underground. Do we still have our? Oh, it's over here. Okay, so I just brought it with me. So let's grab some plates while we're here. We know we're going to need plates. All right. Throw this down. Yeah, I shot it earlier when I was trying to come up with this design. I recommend you not shoot your factories. It could be a problem. We'll just put that all in there. Let it bang out as many as it's going to bang out. We'll need them later anyway. Still a few more. There we go. Good enough. Alright, so now we got our underground belt here. And let's put that in right here. There we go. Now we can bring that down and we can feed in our gears and our plates. Right? Right. Because that's what we need for this, right? Let's move this out of our way. Gears and plates. Green going in. Now we just need gears and plates going in. And gears and plates we have right over here. Right? Now, the question becomes, do I short myself by pulling it off of there? Or do I make another completely separate line coming in with gears and plates? You know what? Let's stay consistent. I know this is going to be kind of stupid to do, but we're going to bring it in from up here. And we're going to, but I want to be consistent in taking things off of this bus, just because. So probably should have staggered these. Yeah, should have staggered these. And that's okay putting it there because we're going to do this anyway. To come across that, we're going to put this next belt up here anyway. Dang it, come on. That one's going to go up here. So, so there we go with that. Is that our output for that? Yeah, that's our output for that. Right? Right. So that's going to be our inserters. They're going to have to go up there anyway, because they got to go up to the green science. So let's bring this down and come across here. And where's our other input? Oh, I know what we did. We started to go down there with it. We don't want to go down there with it. You know what? let's save ourselves an underground inserter, or an underground belt. Now that we've got all this green these green circuits all on these belts, let's save ourselves an underground belt just for giggles. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to bring these two down. To here. And turn that one that way, that one that way. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, so we're going to make this top one our double item. Oops, not far enough. Make the top one our double item. Make the bottom one our green circuits. Come on, Moreland. Alright. So there we go. That should give us everything we need. Go. Right? Right. Alright, so there's feeding there. And then we can bring this up and bring that up to our belt. So, for that, we need this. Oops. There we go. Underground belt. We need a few more eventually, but that'll get us going. That brings our green circuits up there. We'll put that on a bus. It brings our inserters up there. We'll put on a bus. We have our gears on a bus. We have our copper wire on a bus. So let's see. The only thing we don't have going up there that we're going to need to, send up there for our science is our belts. So we are definitely going to have to build some more underground real quick here. Do we have enough? We got underground. Okay. All right. And let's just go down here, plop her down, build ourselves some underground. You know what? Let's just put a whole stack in there. We're going to need them. We're going to use the heck out of them. We're going to need some splitters too. I'll probably make some splitters off camera. But this will get us going. All right. So now we got to figure out how do we get that up here, because eventually we're going to want to get it up here to take it over here, but we're also going to want to start another belt here too. So let's bring these on up. Let's do this one real quick. And we got that. Now can we sneak this in here somehow, or do we got to go around the end? We might be able to. Looks like. Yeah. And then if we do this, we jog it 1. Will that reach? Yeah, it'll reach, but that's in the way. Ah, crap. Alright. Not a problem. Not a problem. We'll figure it out here. We'll just go up through here. Not gonna reach. Okay. Well, it's kind of a waste, but okay. We'll do it for now. We get the longer or the faster underground belts, along with being faster, they reach farther. So ultimately we'll be able to swap some of that out at some point if we remember to do it. If we don't, we don't, you know. All right. So here we go. Oops. There we go. So that should take us all the way up to what happened? Oh. Yeah. I know what happened. There we go. Boom. So now we got them all up there. We got belts, inserters, and green circuits that we can ultimately run a line out this way. And let's go ahead and just start doing that with the green circuits anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4 line. Since the only reason these are running up here is to do this anyway, we don't have to split this off. There we go. Because that's that other set of green circuits. Yep, there we go. So there's our bus for our green circuits. This is going to be probably a little bit of a waste, but we're going to have a short bus at least. Short bus. Short bus for our inserters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. And 1 for our belts. We probably don't need it. At least not right now, we don't. But that's okay. We'll use them eventually, probably. So now we just need to bring both of those lines back over here and up here. But we only need one of each, right? One on each side. So let's start by changing this input to the other direction. And that's just as simple as that. Oops. It's as simple as that, actually. Alright, so now we just need to bring one line up that has both of those on it. And rather than bring two lines way the hell up there, let's do this. Let's go ahead and create that single line right down here. Yeah. There we go. Now we have our single line coming down. I'm going to trace it around and back up there. Ooh. Let's keep a little bit of space here, kind of in keeping with our idea of having working room on our bus. How is it that we don't have a set of undergrounds? We only have one. Are we... How did we manage that? Did we use one somewhere that we didn't use the other end? I guess so. Weird. Somehow we ended up with an odd number. I don't know how. And now that's going to continually throw me off. So we're going to take care of that. We're gonna throw that in a chest or something and get rid of it, because that whole single one is going to be a problem, isn't it? Yes, it is. So we're gonna have to figure out what happened there. Maybe I threw it on the ground. Like I say, I'm a habit of throwing things on the ground, but there should be oh, there it is. There it is. Found it. Haha. But that's still... Oh, yeah, because the other one is the one that we did up here. Alright. We only had one here. Now we have two. Now it will match up right there. And then we can get the rest of these. Finish crawling under that. We got one more spot we gotta go. Well, yeah. One more spot to go under. Turn it that way. Turn it that way. And there we go. So that should now give us green science. Let's make sure it's working right. We got sciencey things going on, it looks like. All right, we got sciencey things. We are missing some lights here, though, aren't we? Let's put some lights in. Lights. Always lights. Alright. So, like I say, I think that's... I mean, it's probably not laid in the best way, but it is, as far as getting this all connected back in. But you know what? That's okay. We may go back and dress this up, but it gives us some space for some odds and ends little things. But the big thing is I have the factory itself set up now. Now we know how we want to get that laid out, and it's looking like we're really kind of starting to have a plate issue here, folks. So we're going to have, but we got a bunch on the other line, so we are definitely going to want to balance the two of these out at some point. I did a bit of balancing down here. Periodically we're going to want to put in some balancers throughout the line, because as we pick stuff off, and that's why I wanted the space, because I want to be able to pick from one side for a while, pick from the other side for a while, and kind of alternate it back and forth a bit so that both of these lines get used, and so that both of the lines kind of stay even. In fact, I may even do that now with this one. You know what? Let's do something here. Let's do this. Let's put that back in there. Let's put this on this side. And then there. Oops. There we go. So now we're pulling off of that line for that, and we're pulling off of that line for that, and that should help us a little bit with our throughput on our load. That way we're not shorting ourselves on either of these, really. And over time, we'll like I say, we will put in faster belts. We're going to put in more input to these belts. Hell, we may even put in a third belt for each of the buses. But that's why we left room here. All right, so now we've got our science going. We've got more power. More power is always good. Let's see how we're doing on power. Oh yeah, look, we're you know, we're holding our own. At some point, we're going to want to start looking at alternative sources of power, like solar and things like that. And generally speaking, when I start laying my railroads, I start laying solar with them. I saw somebody else doing that. I can't remember who right now, but when I build my railroads, I kind of modeled them after his design to some extent. And I will I'll have to look up who that was, and I'm gonna, you know, give a shout out to them credit wise, make sure they, you know, get their just rewards. And yeah, so now we got science going. So now let's pick something to science while we got it. All right, so look, the biters have been coming in and hitting pretty hard. I did go ahead and since I had red science already set up there, I went ahead and I researched bullet damage. With the red and green science, we're going to be able to science for a long time before we have to worry about any of the other sciences. So we should be good to go for some time now. I've been saying I want this extra tool belt, so I have these slots. I definitely want that. I want to start looking at laser turrets, which are going to require military science. Down the road, they're going to require that. So we're a little ways away from them yet, but at some point, I definitely am going to want to do that. I would like substations, and when we start looking at railroads, we're definitely going to want substations for the railroads. So we may have to just make some blue science packs until we can get that kind of set up and rolling. Gun turret damage. Stacks with bullet damage. So you know what? Let's go ahead and do the gun turret damage right off. And then yeah, we need to up our damage on our weapons. So that's going to be what we're going to look at for doing our research. And now we got it going, and it's all of them are being fed. It actually, look at how fast that's going up. In the past, like I said once before, I only use like 5 or 6, maybe even as much as 8 research stations, or labs or whatever. But man, I'll tell you what, it's nice having all of these. Look at how fast that goes. The other thing I did, I said I was going to do, is down here where I built these, I went ahead and cleared out the rest of that forest, so I have the room down there. At some point soon, I want to get flamethrowers. I like the flamethrower. I like the flamethrower for clearing the forests, and I like it for killing. But see how fast that is? Isn't that just like totally awesome? Totally loving that. So let's bullet damage, turret damage, they stack, and they both require the same amount of science. So we'll go with bullet damage and then turret damage. So let's go take a walk around and check on our stuff. One of the other things, I started off camera because it really is easy. It just needs the green circuits and the gears, and we're already producing them on the side. Here is repair packs, and I want to grab these and take them with us, because I am sure with all this biter activity that we've had that we're going to need to repair some stuff. And now we can go ahead and fix that broke ass crap that we got in the chest that I originally had thought I could use and build things with, and mostly I'm just inobservant and stupid, and did not realize that it was not letting me do that. So let's take a walkabout. Let's go down the wall here and see how we're doing on ammo. I think I brought ammo with me. Yeah, I brought ammo with me. So we're gonna want to look at the ammo while we're walking down here. Make sure we're keeping up on ammo a little bit. 80s. I can live with 80s. We start getting down around 50, we're going to want to add some ammo. I'm not going to completely fill these up. I don't see any point, because at some point we're going to yank all of them out anyway. And yep, okay, and put in lasers. So I don't see a whole lot of point in filling them completely up. Wow, that is just so much quicker. I am definitely digging that. Whoa! How's that for timing? Boy, they were doing some damage down here. Alright, how are we doing on ammo? You know, let's put some ammo in some of these. Looks like these ones are the ones that are getting the hit the most. So let's throw some additional ammo in them so they don't run out. No sense not, right? I mean, we brought it with us, we might as well put it in there, right? There we go. Alright. Yeah, so now, yeah, so it looks like they're just hitting those three spots for the most part. Looks like we got it going on up there again. So yeah, at some point we're definitely going to have to go and push back with these biters. Not only because they keep attacking us, but also because we're starting to use up our iron. We're starting to use up some of our resources. So, time for us to start looking for more resources. Looks like these ones are doing okay. Those guys coming over don't seem to be doing too much damage. Yeah, so now we're up to where we're going to need military science to get any more improvement out of that. But we can certainly add to our shooting speed. Kill them sooner before they get too much close to the wall. I just want to make a walkabout the entire perimeter, make sure we are good to go. It looks like we are. Cool beans. Alright, so now we got our green science going, we got our red science going, and we got all the pieces parts for them, as well as having those pieces parts down here for what we need. Now see, these they're filled. They're just onesies, twosies as it's needing it. But we've got this already. This is all halfway filled up. So all of this stuff is there. It's 3K per chest. That's a lot of copper. That's shotgun damage. Yeah, you know what? Since we're going to be going out and getting these biters anyway, let's up our shotgun damage. Eventually we're going to want to make the combat shotgun. How are we looking down here? Again, iron is going to be our problem issue, and we're going to have to address that some. I did do some finagling around here and it kind of balanced it out a little bit, but we're back to the furnaces being our choke point again instead of our ore, but we are clearing out this patch of ore really quickly. We're going to run out of this ore pretty soon. If we look at the map, that ore patch only has 360k left in it. This ore patch, 235k. Copper, we're not doing too bad on. Copper, we're doing all right on. But we're going to have to go and reach out and grab this iron, this little patch, this little patch, this little patch. We need to start grabbing these irons. So we're going to have to come over here and push these biters back and push the biters back over there. So looks like we're going to have to start prepping for killing off some biters. Is going to be our next big push at this point is biter death. So that'll be our plan, because yeah, we need to up our iron production, which means we need to up our iron ore resources. Get that going. Looks like we're doing okay over here now. It's starting to stack up again. Does that ultimately give us the shotgun? No, we need one more level for the shotgun, and that requires 4 different types of science. Alright, well, let's see. Bullet shooting speed, magazine-based weapons, turrets, defense. Okay. We just did shooting speed 1. Let's do shooting. Oh no, we did shotgun. Let's do shooting speed 2. We're going to concentrate on our firepower for a little while here now. Like I said, I cleared out them trees. So we're going to start definitely working on building up our firepower so that we can start going and getting these guys. So there's that. What I'm going to do real quick, since I now have the ability to do so. Where's the... I thought I had some walls that were damaged. Must have another crate hiding somewhere that has some crap in it that I've set down somewhere. I don't know. I was going to go ahead and repair stuff, but I got to look for that other crate. Apparently it ain't there. Because I should have some walls that have damage. I know I should. I just got to find where I put them at. I put them down somewhere. I'm going to need to start a location for just storage, and go from there. But there we go, guys. We have our green science going, and we have more power output. So next time around, we're going to work on our offensive capability, so that we can go and give the biters a bad day. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. You know, like, subscribe, and comment. Tell your friends. You know, bring pizza next time, because I'm hungry. All right, I'll talk at you guys later, and you guys have a good day. Bye.